What's going on YouTube? This is Austin here from Austin, Dakota, coming at you again with another video for you guys today. And today, I thought I would go through and show you guys my entire CD collection. This is going to be split into parts, considering I have a lot. I have them in boxes, so I'm not going to waste any more time and crack on with part one of my CD collection. This is going to be one of multiple parts, so be sure you fasten your seatbelts for them. So first album I'm going to show is going to be, I've never heard of this band before until I got this album, and that would be Advent with their debut album titled Remove the Earth, released in 2008. These guys are metalcore, which you guys should know I'm a big fan of metalcore. Absolutely love metalcore, and Advent did a really good job with this album. Love this album, freaking heavy as heck. I love it. The instrumentation is fantastic on it. Definitely would recommend this one. Okay, next album is... Now, you guys have to excuse me. I love pirate metal. You're probably thinking to yourself, what is pirate metal? Well, pirate metal is heavy metal infused with pirate/folk themes, and this album is no exception. And that would be Alestorm with Black Sails at Midnight, released in 2009. By far their best album. I like Seventh Rum of the Seventh Rum. That's an EP. I like that one. I like earlier Alestorm, but this one tops the cake for me. Freaking heavy as heck. The instrumentation is fantastic. The vocals are wonderful. Everything about the album is fantastic. Love the pirate theme that Alestorm is known for on this album. Just great. My favorite. There's no singles off the album. My favorite tracks are Keelhauled, Black Sails at Midnight, and Wolves of the Sea, the last track. Definitely would recommend this one. Alestorm, Black Sails at Midnight, released in 2009. Okay, next album is by one of my favorite bands ever, and that would be Avenged Sevenfold, the self-titled album, or the White Album that came out in 2007. By far, Avenged Sevenfold's best album, and rightfully so. People are literally considering this to be Avenged Sevenfold's best album, and they're not wrong. Absolutely phenomenal album. I love M. Shadows' vocals on here. Great albums. I believe the singles are Afterlife, A Little Piece of Heaven, and Dear God. I believe those are the singles off the album. If there's more, let me know. But yes, Avenged Sevenfold's self-titled album, released in 2007. Wonderful album. I love the last song on the White Album, Dear God. It's amazing. Now this, unfortunately, I don't have the jewel case anymore for, considering it broke, but I'm still going to show the CD. And that would be Bad Wolves with, Disobey Nation. So yeah, this would be their third album, Dear Monsters. This came out in 2021, and this is their latest album. By far their best album, in my opinion. Don't have much to say about it. This was when Tommy Vex left the group, and they introduced Daniel Laskowitz, or DL for short, on this album. His vocals are way better, in my opinion, than frickin' what's his face? Tommy Vex. Unpopular opinion, but I think Tommy Vex did a good job leading Bad Wolves, but then a whole bunch of political BS and backstage BS caused him to leave the band. But I still think this is a phenomenal album. Singles off this album are Lifeline, which is the big one, Comatose, If Tomorrow Never Comes, and I believe that's it. I think Springfield Summer might have been a single too, but I'm not sure. But yeah, Bad Wolves, Dear Monsters, released in 2021. Great album. Now I have a discography in here that I'm going to show next. I've kept it all together. And it's going to be immediately after I show this album right here. Black Sabbath with Paranoid, released in 1971. Everyone should know who Black Sabbath is. My opinion, one of the influences of heavy metal. and one in a band that really jump-started Ozzy Osbourne's career, solo and with Black Sabbath. I prefer the Ozzy era of Black Sabbath, in my opinion. But really good. I mean, War Pigs, Iron Man. Everyone should know this album. If you don't know Paranoid, I don't know what to tell you. That's Paranoid by Black Sabbath, released in 1971. Alright, next up, I'm going to show now my Bloodbath CDs. Absolutely love Bloodbath. I think they're a wonderful Swedish death metal supergroup. Pound for pound, part of my new favorite death metal band. So I'll go and show all their albums now. Bloodbath with their first EP, Breeding Death, released in 2000. This is a really good EP. Very, very evil sounding EP. This was way before they harnessed their sound. In my opinion, they found it on here, but it wasn't until like the later albums that they got it. But yeah, Breeding Death, released in 2000 by Bloodbath. Really good. I don't have Nightmares Made Flesh, which is their first full length, but I have their second full length right here. Nightmares Made Flesh, released in 2004. By far their best album, and the best lineup in my opinion. They did not have Michael Åkerfeldt on vocals for this album. They had Peter Tägtgren on vocals from Hypocrisy. Absolutely phenomenal album. Heavy, brutal, very pounding riffs. I mean, Cancer of the Soul, Brave New Hell, Outnumbering the Day, Feeding the Undead, Year of the Cadaver Race, Stillborn Savior, one of the best tracks on the album in my opinion. I would definitely recommend it. One of my most played Bloodbath albums. So Bloodbath, Nightmares Made Flesh, released in 2004. Great album. Alright, next Bloodbath album I have. I believe this is their third album. I'm not sure. This is the Fathomless Mastery, released in 2008. This is another really good Bloodbath album. Bloodbath so far, or Bloodbath overall, in my opinion, has a pretty good, flawless discography. This would be the last studio album to have Michael Åkerfeldt on lead vocals. But yeah, The Fathomless Mastery by Bloodbath, released in 2008. Last album to feature Michael Åkerfeldt. So then fast forward to 2014, and we have Grand Morbid Funeral. This, in my opinion, is their heaviest sounding album, or one of their heaviest sounding albums. One of their darkest, in my opinion. I think when they found Nick Holmes of Paradise Lost, that's when Bloodbath kind of jumped, in my opinion, to superstardom. Even though they found superstardom when they released Resurrection Through Carnage, in my opinion. But yes, really, really good album. Love this one. I mean, starting off with Let the Stillborn Come to Me, freaking heavy, brutal, pounding riffs. Church of Vastidos, Famine of God's Word, Famine of God's Word. I mean, Beyond Cremation, and which is my favorite track. But yeah, I really like this album a lot. Love Grand Morbid Funeral. One of my favorite Bloodbath albums. I'm missing some of their latest work. The only other Bloodbath album I have is The Error of Satan is Drawn from 2018. I didn't show the inside of Grand Morbid. Well, yeah, I did, but just in case you guys missed it, Grand Morbid. But I have The Arrow of Satan is Drawn from 2018. Not a lot of people really like this album from Bloodbath. I know Andrew Ballina, when he showed his death metal album, said that this was their weakest album. My opinions are different. I think this is a really good album. I mean, Blood Aside, Chainsaw Lullaby, March of the Crucifiers, Morbid Antichrist, Deader, Warhead Ritual. Freaking great album, man. Very good, heavy pounding riffs on this album. Everything about it is amazing. Especially love Nick Holmes' vocals towards the second half of the album. Right towards the end when he does Chainsaw Lullaby. Great album. Love it. Okay, moving on. Next up, a quintessential classic, Bolt Thrower, War Master from 1991. This is the Bolt Thrower album to end all Bolt Thrower albums, in my opinion. If you have not listened to this album, I feel sorry for you. What are you doing? I mean, you should go find, if you can find this album, definitely buy it. I mean, the intro, Mankind, or Unleashed Upon Mankind, freaking great. What Dwells Within, The Shreds of Sanity, Destructive Infinity, War Master, self-titled. Everybody's favorite War Master album, or everyone's favorite Bolt Thrower album is War Master, and I would highly agree with that. That's my favorite Bolt Thrower album as well. Okay, next up, Cannabis Corpse with Left Hand Pass. This album was released in 2019. Cannabis Corpse are a cannabis-themed death metal band. These guys are kind of funny, a little cheesy in a way. Left Hand Pass is supposed to be a play on words to Entombed's debut album, Left Hand Path. The 420th Crusade to start things off, Dark Purity, Chronic Breed, In Battle There Is No Pot. Again, another play on words to In Battle There Is No Law, which is Bolt Thrower's debut album, and I'm trying to get my hands on it. But yeah, this is a good album, very, very fun listen. If you can find it, definitely pick it up. Cannabis Corpse with Left Hand Pass, released in 2019. Alright, sticking with death metal. Cannibal Corpse with Butchered at Birth. This came out in 1991. A big, big year for death metal. I have the 2002 reissue. Comes with a bonus live track. Really good. This was when Chris Barnes' vocals was slowly going down into a more guttural sound, and it worked in my opinion. First of all, look at that cover art, would you? That is some of the most disturbing cover art I've ever seen on a death metal album. But I love death metal, so. Not my favorite Cannibal Corpse album, but this is a really good one. Butchered at Birth, 1991. Meat Hook Sodomy to start things off. Gutted. Butchered at Birth. Innards Decay, I believe, is on here. Covered with Sores, which is my favorite track. Freaking love the beginning part. I like how it goes slow, but then it eventually speeds up. Great stuff. I know Glenn Benton is on a track, believe it or not, on that album, but I can't remember which one. Like I said, Tomb of the Mutilated is my favorite favorite Cannibal Corpse album. I just don't have it. It's really hard to find. The only other, I keep saying Disturbed, because I keep looking over here and I have a Disturbed album. The only other Cannibal Corpse album I have is the 2002 album, Gore Obsessed. I love this album. This is a really, really good album from Cannibal Corpse. One of my personal favorites. Really, really heavy. This has Corpse Grinder on vocals. For those that don't know, Chris Barnes was a member of Cannibal Corpse from the first day they formed until 1994's The Bleeding. Then they found Corpse Grinder, which in my opinion, he was the perfect replacement for Chris Barnes. Corpse Grinder's first appearance with Cannibal Corpse came in the form of Vile in 1996. He's been on all the albums from Vile to Violence Unimagined. But this is probably my favorite Cannibal Corpse album that's got Corpse Grinder on vocals. Love this album. Freaking great album. Okay, we're almost done for this part. Next up, I got some Norwegian black metal here. Darkthrone, with Transylvanian Hunger. This came out in 1994. In my opinion, the black metal album to end all black metal albums. I mean, you have Fenriz and Varg Vikernes of Mayhem and his self-project Burzum, or Burzum, as he likes to call it. Burzum's stuff is out of print and it's really hard to find. But I know Motley Crue Forever One, shout out to him when he mentioned his 13 Stone Cold Black Metal Classics, he mentioned this album. And he said this is his favorite Darkthrone album. I mean, I have to say so. I mean, classic album cover. And I have to agree with him. Motley Crue Forever One, if you're watching this is my favorite Darkthrone album as well. Everything about the album from beginning to end is amazing. Freaking cold as hell. That's all I'm going to say. Love this album. Love Darkthrone. Now, Darkthrone, believe it or not, they actually started out as a death metal band in 1991, I believe, when they released Soulside Journey. Then after that, there was no transition period. They went from straight being a death metal band to being a black metal band. Now, I don't have much Darkthrone. This is the only Darkthrone album I have. I will get A Blaze in the Northern Sky and Under a Funeral Moon, which those two albums helped shape Norwegian black metal into what it was today, or what it is today, unpopular opinion. But I need to get my hands on those albums. I've been trying to find those albums for years. I have not been able to find them. Alright, next up. Death. Leprosy. This album came out in 1988. Don't get to say much about Death that already hasn't been said. Classic band. The case, unfortunately, on my copy is broke. It did not come factory sealed. I ordered it off Amazon. It should have came sealed. I take points off for that. But other than that, not really going to complain. Now, the first disc is the studio album. Second disc has all the demos on it. So, pretty cool. I don't mind that the jewel case is broke. It's just kind of hard to flip the CDs around. Plus, yeah, that's going to break soon. Yeah, this whole bottom part right here is just going to break. Actually, it's not going to break. It's already broke because it's already missing a part right there. But this is my favorite Death album. Everyone should have this album, in my opinion. If you don't, I feel really sorry for you. What are you doing? Okay. The other albums that I wanted to show in this collection are two recent pickups. One of those pickups would be Disturbed with their sixth album, Immortalized, released in 2015. This, to me, is the last good Disturbed album. People say after Asylum they kind of sold out. My opinion, Immortalized is their last good album. Did not care for Evolution at all. Did not care for it at all, one bit. But yeah, this is a really good album from Disturbed. I love the cover art inside here. Singles off this album are The Vengeful One, The Sound of Silence, The Light, and Open Your Eyes. Open Your Eyes does not have a video for it, but The Vengeful One, The Sound of Silence, and The Light, all three of those have videos for them. Great videos. The Sound of Silence is like one of my favorite tracks off the album. One of the best covers in metal history, bar none. If you have not listened to Disturbed's take on The Sound of Silence, again, feel sorry for you. What are you doing? Go on YouTube, search up The Sound of Silence by Disturbed, or go buy this album. It's on here. Trust me, it's on here. And then the other album that I wanted to show, I'm slowly kind of starting to fade away from this band, but I'm getting back into them. Okay, Dying Fetus, Descend into Depravity. This is their 2009 album. Pretty cool. I love the cover. Your Treachery Will Die With You is just freaking heavy as heck. Freaking pounding riffs. But yeah, love these guys. I haven't really listened to this album yet. I've heard Your Treachery Will Die With You off it. But other than that, haven't listened to the album all the way through. Alright, so that's it. That's it for part 1 of my CD collection. Come on back for part 2. Part 2 will dive into another box, more rock and metal. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe down below. Be sure you hit the bell notification as well, so that way you don't miss any more videos like this in the near future. I got something really, really exciting for you guys coming up in just a few weeks. I'm not going to say what it is yet. I'm going to keep it a surprise. So until next time, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.